What's the date today? The 8th, 9th of April? Thursday,
April something.
here on the coast of Brazil,
Florianopolis.
riding out the coronavirus. So I woke this morning, as I told you, I didn't want to wake up. My alarm goes off at 4:55, 6 days a week. And I have a morning ritual that I'm to do in the morning at 4:55. Oh, by the way, we didn't read through the rest of
I just noticed it too. We're going to talk about how important the rituals are, and then we failed.
Right.
But it's the fault of the ritual. It's not our fault.
Yes. So, will we be engaging with people?
No.
Okay. All right, I'll follow your lead on that.
Look, you can put them away.
We'll pretend no one is watching.
Yes.
So, so I get up, I get out of bed.
4:55.
Yeah, and I go sit down on my laptop, and it's like frozen up, so I got too many windows open, so I can't go along with my ritual because everything's taking so long to even open up. So I spend maybe 15 minutes, you can tell I'm frustrated even now thinking about it, trying to just close down windows and waiting for shit. And that's one of the things that really puts me in a funk is the technology stuff. And then, I go to turn on my Last Samurai music, which is the music for the ritual. And on the screen, I see, because a client of mine, 10 years ago, sent me, an album of hers, a playlist that she'd put together with all these female empowerment songs. And so I open up Last Samurai, and I see all these, Kelly Clarkson and whatever, and I'm like, I don't want to look at this shit. And so I go to, delete it. And because of the way the iTunes is set up, I can't delete it.
Oh, man. And
it's Apple, with their way of controlling shit. And I said, that's the next thing for me. So I'm just going into this hole, and I'm thinking I could just go with my ritual and just do that later. And I'm like, no! And so that's a wormhole I can't get. I can't find out how to delete it. And so before you know it, that whole ritual is gone. And then at this point, other stuff is starting to come up that I'm focused on what I don't like about my life and whatever.
Right.
And by the time it's time to come down and meet you and go for a walk, I'm like,
because this is important to know. You get up an hour before me to do your whatever you're doing.
Sacred ritual.
So you got an hour that's yours, and then we gather at 5:55 is when I get up. At 6, we gather here downstairs in this house here, and we walk to the beach.
Yes.
And this is our wake-up ritual that we do together.
Yes. So we walk out to the beach, and there's something really cool about that ritual, the walking out to the beach, because we walk down the same path. Something about the physical movement, even if it's harder, I think, to be on your laptop following a ritual.
Yes.
Because you have other things in play, distractions, this, that, technology can interfere. But to go out to the beach, we kind of have to walk down the same path, one foot in front of the next. Then we walk through the jungle. Then we come out and we see the beautiful ocean and the sun, and we walk down to the beach. So that part is very ritualistic, and I like that. And then, even as we're about to take our stand, I'm still inside, Today was the last month. Today was the most difficult for me.
But you can't get out of it because we're doing it together. So you have to go through the motions in a way.
And then we take the stand, we get in the ocean, and the ocean is like look at this, talk about technology interfering. Go away! What is it? Does not even give me a broadcast paused. Oh man, that pisses me off.
He's also doing a live on his. So continue.
Yeah, yeah. We're not talking to Facebook this morning. So we get in the sea, and it was like the image I had was like this fucking crazy old man of the sea. Just like, fuck, man, it was violent this morning.
Jesus.
You know?
I went in like 7 meters. I couldn't go further because it was dangerous.
Yeah, and that totally, you know, wraps you up. Just survival in the wild ocean. By the time we get out and we're walking back, you know, like and then especially by the time, you know, I have my hot shower, we get the coffee, we sit down for our next ritual, which is talking about the war that our brothers are facing.
Yes.
And then we have a conversation about it. We just recently decided to start putting it on Facebook Live, but that at this point, like, I'm living in a whole new world than what I woke up to this morning and what I spent the first hour of my day in. And so...
because you went through the ritual, or...
Yes. And the great thing about it is, like, now I'm like, in the morning, like, I'm kind of cursing myself. Why did I fucking 4:55 a.m.? This is too goddamn early. What the fuck am I doing? And then at this point, a couple hours later, I'm like, oh, fucking thank God I set up these rituals like this.
Yes.
Because I feel so great.
Thank God I set up these rituals like this. So the power of it is, the power is the system that you set up. So you don't have to rely on your spur of the moment.
The idea is most of us tend to follow our feelings most of the time in most of our decisions, moment to moment. And had I woken up and feeling like shit, that could have guided my whole day, the way I did everything, the energy I did it with. But the way I've designed my rituals and my system, the idea is that I'm not rethinking it every day. So to most of us, to think about, what do I want to do today? What do I want to do next? It's like you have to come into, what am I feeling, right? And your feeling that you have is often dictated by things that you did not control, what you dreamt about last night, what the weather's like today, how someone interacted with you, the thoughts that came up in your head. If your computer is frozen
up or not.
Yes, these form some kind of world that you live in the moment, and then the feelings that you have about all that. And then those guide your decisions. So the idea behind this morning ritual system that I have, crafted over years and years, is to take away this appeal to what do I feel like doing, and if I wake up to, and I have had several mornings lately that I've woke up and I've not had a great first morning ritual where I sit there. And so normally we would put that on ourselves, like just say, I don't want to do this, or it's something wrong with me that I'm not following my ritual. The way the system is designed, if you're not waking up wanting to do the rituals, it's because the rituals, it's not your fault, it's the ritual's fault.
Yes.
So you redesign the ritual to totally wake you up.
That's not so much the way the ritual is designed. That's like a way you look at it and a decision you make beforehand. If something is not working well, the ritual is not set up the right way. The system is not working. The system is not doing the work I want it to do. You know, if I'm not excited to get up, I have not set up my system in such a way that it's exciting for me to wake up.
Yes.
And that's the power of it, because I would say I'm very disciplined compared to a lot of people, and I stopped relying on my discipline.
Yes.
Because if there's bad food in the fridge, it's only a matter of time I'm going to eat it. You know, so the system is not to have bad food in your fridge. It's the same with the morning ritual. As I see it, I've struggled 45 years to become a morning person, you know, and I don't succeed. And so the idea is to put a system in place. You said it took me years, but you can start it tomorrow. Really, you can start it tomorrow, and you can put a system in place that makes it for you that you want to get up. For me, the first time is like have an agreement with you, like we're gonna do this, because I know how I function. That if I do something with a friend together, with an ally together, I'm not gonna be the weakest link. I'm gonna do it. So I know, for me, the system is I'm committing to doing this at least for say 2 weeks, just going through the motions and see what's going to happen at the end. And I know myself well enough that I'm excited to see what the result is going to be of that. So my system involved a very simple wake up ritual, and the system was working the first couple of days. I've been up every day, and I just keep upgrading it so it becomes better, more powerful. I'm even more excited.
So we've talked quite a bit over the past few weeks about the distinction between knowing something,
yes,
and being awake.
Yes.
It's there's also a sense like I could have woke up this morning and said, I want to go back to sleep.
Right.
Based on the level of consciousness I had then and the way that I was thinking and what I was feeling. Like we want to be in control of our lives.
Right.
We want to think that I'm guiding my own life. But who is the I in that moment? You're not really present to everything that's most important to you.
Mm-hmm.
You're at any one point in time, how present are you to like really what you would say is the core of you? Most of the time we're not. But we're so willing to, we're so easily say, I don't want this, or I want that, and so we speak for ourselves without, I would say, without authority.
Would you say that the system takes into account that broader picture of who you really are, how you function, what you resonate with, what's important to you? You take that into account, and it's in the system, and so the system knows better. Your wake up ritual knows better what's good for you than you in that moment. It's like this. Like I never went out really hardcore, but there were a couple of years when I was in Romania. Well, that was hardcore. But I was always interested in why I knew that, say, 2 drinks is okay, 3rd drink is the absolute maximum, and after that, it's not good.
Right.
Most of the time, self knows this to be a fact.
Right.
Every time.
Right.
I get to the 2nd drink.
Yeah.
2nd drink, Hans.
Yeah.
Hans with 2 drinks always thinks that the 3rd drink is a good idea.
Right.
Always.
Right. Right.
And 3 drinks, Hans, he is convinced. Anything the other Hanses say, the 4th drink is a great idea.
Right.
And I learned not to trust my drinking self, meaning even the 1st or the 2nd drink. That, like, when I make decisions, then it's gonna be fucked up.
Yes.
So I gotta have a system in place.
Yes.
that guy doesn't get to make the decisions.
Yeah. Well, that's like in the morning, it's as if you're drunk when you first wake up. It's you're drunk. I don't want to do it. So.
You can't trust that guy.
Yeah. But we might really feel that that's us because in that moment we can have these really strong feelings. Right. And so the idea is, and the whole idea behind the Wealth Warrior methodology is to wake you up as much as possible and keep you awake and keep waking you up as much as possible so that you really are the creator of your life. You're not acting out of this I that you think, that you feel that you are in the moment, that's really just reacting to all this other bullshit.
Yes. But what's key in this is that the system is, you designed it. So it's not like I'm trusting the system more than I trust me. No. You designed the system, which means you're trusting the you who's taken into account everything and way more than how you're going to feel in that morning.
Yeah.
So it's just you're trusting a much completer version of you than in the moment you. And that's what if you think about it in that moment, if you think about the moments where you say, oh no, this is different, I'm making a decision now, I don't, the system, whatever system, I know now what I want. Realize at that moment that the guy who designed that system had a much broader perspective of who you are. So you're still designing. And you're designing in a way more knowledgeable, deliberate way than in the moment you.
Yeah, and it's like this morning when I was resistant and grumbling and whatever and wanting to change things around, I also thought there's a time for that.
It's in the system.
Yes, I can change this morning ritual later.
That's key. That's what I do too. It's like, fuck, I don't like this. I take note. I'm gonna go through this. It's like I said, for me, the holy thing was just the first week, just do it. Go through the motions. The form is way more important than the content. And, you know, the form, just going through it is way more important than any way I feel. It doesn't matter at that point, you know?
Yes.
That's great.
And I think, you know, we were going to do a program for guys on this whole wake up ritual and system stuff.
Take back your mornings.
But at the same time, I kind of think this has to be, I'm beginning to think this has to be more of a mentoring thing.
Huh.
Like it's more for one guy who's really familiar with it. It's for one guy who's really familiar with it, who then can pass it on to someone else and they do it together. Because the level of kind of just, it's something that's difficult to implement. It's a difficult change to implement on your own.
Yes, for me, 100%. And you guide me through it, you know, and it's constant tweaking.
Yeah.
You know, this and how do you, and it seems simple, you know, but it's not. That's why I didn't become a wake up a morning person all these years. Yeah. If it would have been simple.
Yeah, and still me by nature, I am not a morning person.
Yeah.
You know, so it's I'm someone who's very affected by my environment and my feelings.
Yes.
So
which is incredible.
If I create a system
that
gives me a beautiful environment to wake up with in the morning, gives me great feelings. Yeah, I want to wake up to that. You know?
It is, to me, it's fascinating because you are, I would say, me too. We're very rebellious, you know, like external authority. Fuck that, you know, and I'm doing whatever I want.
Right.
And then we put our own system in place that can decide for us what we should do. Yes. I would say most of the day.
Yes.
Get up at 5, and this goes on until 11.
Yes.
Till 11 we have.
Yes.
And then the evening. I think is beautiful. It's a system of your own choosing.
Yeah.
You know, it's an authority of your own choosing.
Right.
It's great. I'm very excited.
And an authority that speaks to your heart. I mean, what we rebelled against when we were younger, and what we still would rebel against, is an authority that we don't feel really knows us, doesn't really have our best interests at heart, and is maybe a hypocrite and all these other things. Like we, you know, I've even like you, I think if you felt like there's someone in my life, like an older man who really gives a fuck about you, who knows you deeply, really has your best interest at heart, you're much less likely to rebel against him and much more likely to...
I feel something very strong. It's very spiritual almost. And maybe it's not going to make sense. I talked with Deborah De Robertis, an artist, a good friend of mine. 10 years ago, we talked about this, of completely like ritualizing your life. And it always like fascinated me. In my book, I also say, ritualize your routines. And I said, why is that? You know, why am I so attracted to that? Because I'm also a rebel, you know? And I'm very attracted to like the samurai, the sacredness of that. And I sense now all of a sudden that it is a perfect placement of me. Oh, this is going to be very eerie. Of me in the cosmos. It's like I am doing my bit, which is designing my system, adhering to the sacred, being part of that, you know, and it's, I'm doing my bit in this whole sacred cosmic equation, and I feel it's the best way I can like belong to it. I feel very connected with the animals we see on the way, you know, the nature, the sea, the time, way more than when I'm whimsical in the moment, like reacting to things that are here, you know. It's like I'm doing my bit, I'm creating this system, and it allows me to connect way more profoundly and peacefully with the whole cosmic equation. I feel very, just this morning we see these 2 dogs and I, you know, and I felt such a, like everything was right, and I'm doing my bit in it. I'm not just experiencing it, you know. I've designed my system. In a way, I'm
seeing it as
so
like
part of it.
You're not in conflict. You're not resisting. You're not.
Yeah, it's an alignment. There's no like internal. I want to be in my bed. I should do the ritual. Oh, what is Michael gonna think of me?
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
I think, and this is illustrated by my inner conflict diagram. I think that even most people might disagree with this or not experience this as reality. I think we spend most of our time in inner conflict or reacting to it, you know. And so I'm just saying that in those moments, you're not resisting anything.
Yes.
You are connecting.
I'm connecting, but what I feel is a bit, but I sense it very strong. What is a revelation to me right now is that I am not just experiencing it, you know, and surrendering to it. I have a creative power in it, which was the creation of that ritual, that the sacredness, you know. I've decided how I'm going to participate in it. So I've done my bit. I feel I do my bit in the cosmic equation, and it's imperative that I do it. You know?
Yeah.
Wow. This is
which is also like there's honor present in that.
Yes.
Because you have an experience of choosing, like wholeheartedly choosing, instead of not choosing or reacting, which there's no honor in those. Yes. And when I say honor, I mean this feeling from your heart that yes, it's this inner yes to life, to oneself.
If honor is exploring it more, is the human part of sacredness. I think the sacredness is where I really feeling like I'm tapping into something here, like doing my bit, choosing the stand, choosing to feel honor, creating honor. I feel I'm doing the human way of being sacred, the sacredness of this universe, of the waves coming, you know, of these dogs running, of the sun coming up, you know, and that's
it's like the life force connecting with the, you know, I think a lot of times we will experience ourselves being in our head, despite what our heart says. Without that inner yes, we'll just be without inner authority, you know, or following some external authority, reacting to external expectations of society or authority.
This is so great. Yeah, to me the biggest revelation is the decision that I'm designing a system that's going to make me feel alive, that's going to give me honor, that's going to have me wake up. And if it's not working, the system is wrong. Nothing is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Your job is to tap into what is you, you know, and design a system that's going to get you excited. You know? And if it's not working, you got to upgrade your system.
Yes.
Fantastic. This is the power of rituals, morning ritual. You want to say something more?
Well, not just the morning ritual, but having a system to make sure that your rituals are constantly adapted, recreated to adapt to your environment, to your changing life, and so on. It's not like this, you just design it one time and then you submit to it, right? You need you need that time when you sit down, and there's also, for most of us, we need some kind of external accountability. This is what a system is.
Right.
Is designed to maintain an output. So no matter what the changing inputs are, the output is the same.
Because even that is like there's it's part of the system to make upgrades. You do. I write down improvements I could do, and then once a week I review and then implement them or not. Or a part of the system is when I really feel I want to change the system in the moment, you know, there's a touching base with you first. So I in that moment, we're not discussing if it's a right change or not, but where am I coming from? Is this, can we broaden my perspective and see from that all-knowing Hans if this is a great upgrade or if I'm just reacting to it, you know? So the talking with you about it is part of that system. Wow, this is going to be complicated for people who have not.
and having allies as opposed to friends. Right, friends tend to want to help you stay comfortable. They're friends with this smaller self.
Yes.
This less great Hans that believes
Let's
his
have a
bullshit.
drink. Yeah, man, that's what you live only once.
Right.
Yeah, allyship is the greatest gift in this. You know, I know that is the key in me. Nothing has changed except me having an ally now. You know, and that's key. That's key. Knowing that, yeah, we have each other's best interest at heart and calling each other out. All right, what are you thinking about?
These are our words.
These are our words. See you tomorrow morning again. Ciao.